Now, the next step, after we've done this, in the true corners last modality, I'm going to start to solve it Megaming style, but just with all of our outers. So we're going to be putting our outer edges in and our outer corners in, and then deal with the inner corners last. Now, in previous tutorials, I was referring to certain strategies of moving these guys around, called the Venus algorithm, the Mercury strategy. I was doing that because those were the first puzzles that I sort of discovered, found, semi-invented some of those things, mostly discovered. Those are the first puzzles that I use those techniques, so I kept referring back to that. I'm not going to do that this time. I want to try to make this as self-contained as possible. But just like with Jupiter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a bottom side. And the bottom side is going to be any one of my non-banded sides. In this case, we'll say red. That's what I was used to doing from before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the red cross. No pun intended. So here are the techniques that I'm going to use to do that. There's an algorithm, there's a variety of techniques to move these corner pieces without messing anything up. And there's actually 3 techniques to do that. I was referring to them as a Mercury technique, the Venus technique. Again, I'm not going to do that. But suffice to say that one technique is kind of a direct one where it's exactly the same thing, where we just kind of rotate things around. So over here, you can imagine that I could just, if I hold this, say, here, I can rotate these around to where this is going to end up over here. And all I have to do is find the one with the white, bang, bang, here's the one with the white, and just rotate this down over here. And that's going to be doing exactly the same algorithm. Now, what I want to do is I don't want to move these guys around. So the whole key is to do it right next to, or just to the left of, in other words, where I have just to the right of this, a banded side. So it's not going to be this side that's going to do it. Probably over here, because if I do this here, these will maintain their positions. These guys will rotate, and this is fixed to rotate over here. The other thing to bear in mind also is that because this is a banded side, I'm not going to be taking these around. I couldn't do it this way if this was a non-banded side, because I'm going to be rotating these guys around. So I have to be cognizant of that. So R, U, R, I, U, R, 1, 2, 3, bang. So it put that there just like I wanted, and now I can move that back. Okay, so that's technique number 1, which is going to be a very useful technique of moving things around. As we start placing more and more of these in, that's going to become a lot more useful. Let's see if there's another technique we can use. Well, how about this guy, this red and pink? I'm going to move this over here, and I'd like to move this to here. So what's another way that I can do that? Well, I can do it exactly the same way. And if you feel comfortable with that, go ahead and do it. But there's another algorithm that I can do that might be a more direct way of potentially doing it without having to, rearrange or look at things. What this is going to do is this is going to move this to here, and then you're done. This is what I used to call the Venus algorithm, but what it really means is that this can be done if you have criteria, a non-banded side up top, and then 2 banded sides on either side. In this case, if you're going to do it from the right side here, you have to have a right banded side here and a front banded side here, because it's not going to change any of these. And on the right side, what this algorithm is going to do is this algorithm is going to be RI, F, R, F, RI to 3F, RI. And see that moved that over here and it didn't change anything. The left-sided algorithm with the same criteria is going to be the same thing, but just transfer it to the left side. I'm not going to go through that, but anyway, that kept this here, that kept this here, and all I have to do is move these back and none of these changed. Okay, so that's strategy number 2 of moving those. Let's see what else we can work out here. How about this? Well, this is flipped. It's upside down. It's not where we want it. So what I want to do is blast that out of here. And so now we're going to talk about strategy number 3 of moving this, which is an even more direct technique. But here's the criteria with that. If you're going to do that, you have to have, again, in front of you, 2 banded sides. And what you can do is if you want to move this to here, what this algorithm will do is move this to here and this to here and move nothing else, so long as these are bandaged. So to move this to here, down to the right side, it's going to be F, RI, F, I, R, and that'll move that over here. Now, to which you might say, oh my gosh, you just blasted this out, and that's true. So you got to be careful of that. But you know, that's just more to demonstrate how that was. But now that I've got that out of here, I'm kind of free to do what I want with this. I can start moving this in the proper way. So what am I going to do about this? Notice I blasted that one out. Well, I can deal with that later. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one in by that other algorithm. Moving it over here, and now this can move up to here. This is the left side now, so this is going to be L, Fi, Li, F, L, 1, 2, 3, Li. Alright, so now that's over there. And that's over here too. So we can move that out. Now should we fix what I destroyed? Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to want to deal with this one in turn. I have to separate it from this side here. So turn, 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 turn. Okay, so let's go ahead and move this one in, as long as we're far away from others. Okay, so this is going to rotate up to here. It'll blast this out, but who cares? It's not really in any way. Down, 1, 2, 3, up. So we easily got that back in. These two are still here. And now we want to move this one in. So this one is also similarly going to be fairly easy. This will need to move up to here. But I can't do that specific technique because this is non-bandaged over here. So that's not going to work over here. What I'm going to need to do, move this over here, is I have to get this to over here in order to do that algorithm, or better yet, to not do that. Why don't I just rotate it around like this so I can apply that there. Move this over here actually, and this can rotate in over here. So to do that, I don't want to change the configuration of any of these sides, so let's go right next to a bandaged side, like over here. Will this be able to get in here? No. So I'll go over here. Because if I do that, now this will be able to come into, well, to come into here, what I'm going to have to do is move this over by 1. These will all be protected. This will eventually move into here. R, U, R, I, U, R, 1, 2, 3. Bang. Alright, so this did indeed come over here. I just moved that back over here. Alright, did you catch that? If not, slow it down, rewind it, see what you can think. Anyway, this is in, this is in, this is in. Now we want to get the final red one. This is mostly just to demonstrate these different strategies, and I welcome you to apply it to any way that you can. Here's the other one over here. So now it's a matter of getting this way down over here. Well, that's going to be easily done as long as I oscillate it between banded sides here. So I can do that algorithm of flipping as long as I'm within banded sides here. So I can go like boom, 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 boom. Nothing's going to change when I do that. So this is now over here. And now I can try to roll this in to over here like this. So I have to find banded side, which is here. And I want to organize it to where this will come into here. It won't do it like this because it's protected over here. So I'm going to go 1, 2. So now this is free to move from here to here, and I'm not going to change the configuration of my inner edges. I'm just going to be moving my outer edges. R, U, R, I, U, R, 1, 2, 3, bang. There it is here. Move it back, and we're good. So these are all in. Turn it here. Okay, so with the putting in of our first quote cross, or first extended star, I demonstrated all 3 strategies of moving these in. moving these where they need to be. There was the rotational strategy, which is just finding an area that's bandaged so that you don't move the inner edges here, just the outer edges. You had the very quick one where you can take it from here to here and here to here. As long as you're in between, you're doing it in between two bandaged sides. And then there is the other strategy where you can move it from here to here without messing anything up, as long as you've got a non-bandaged side on the top. The next overall strategy, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting in the next set of edges, inner and outer, and then we're going to put in the corner just below the edges that you did, just below the two edges that you put in. So between here, here, and here, I guess 3 edges. So let's see how we do this. And we're going to be utilizing the same strategies, that same rotational strategies. It's really not going to change. So let's see what we have first. This is going to be the easiest one to put in because, you know, they're bandaged and we can just sort of roll them in. Right over here, white and blue. So this is fairly easy because this is already here. It just needs to be rotated into position here. And I don't want to move these guys around, so we're going to rotate it, holding this just to the right. What I'll do is, why don't I just move it like this? This will be protected. This can potentially move to here. It can't yet because this is in a protected position. So what I'm going to do is just kind of blast this out so that it can be a little closer here. R, U, alright, U, R, 1, 2, 3, and then here. Okay, so this is, like I say, protected. This is blasted out, so now I'm going to move it to here. This will still be protected here because it's just to the left of it, but now this is free to rotate to here. 2, 3, bang. Do it again. And there it is over here, so I just have to move this down here. So now this is where it needs to be. Alright, let's get a little more complicated. Blue and pink. Well, the blue and pink is over here, and that's not where we want it to be. So what I want to do is I want to turn this upside down. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to do the algorithm that flips it from here to here, but I can't do it here because this is non-bandaged. So I'm just going to move this to an area where I can do it. In other words, between these guys. So if I move it from here to here, I'm not going to offset any of these centers. So boom, 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 boom. Okay, edges I mean. All these edges are protected. So if I'm getting skittish about it, let's just move it back so nobody panics. See, everything is still fine. This is still good. But we did move it out. We did effectively move this blue and green one out. And now we're in a position where we can basically turn it upside down. So if we were to travel with this, why don't we move this to here and then this around? Seems easy enough. So hold it like this so that this can make the journey to here, so we have pink with pink. If I hold it like this, I'm not going to move any of these because we're bandaged, so this will come down to here. R, U, alright, U, R, 1, 2, 3, bang. So have faith in the system. There it is over there. Now I just have to wheel this around here, and as long as I just have one that's in, then there's not much that I have to protect. For this to come into here, I have to skew it. I have to move it over here. Well, no, actually that won't work either. All right, so let's just blast it out of here to bring this closer to here. R, U, R, A, U, R, 1, 2, 3, bang. Still the same. This is now blasted out. As a matter of fact, look at this. We accidentally put this one in, which we can use. We also move this out somehow. Yeah, let's go ahead and move this back in. Not sure how we did that, but move this over here. Bang. And one more. 2, 3, bang. And put this in. Okay, so I meant to do that, just to show you how easy it is to put it back in. Alright, so pay no attention to that. But we can move this in easily here. So this we're going to move into here. And we're going to do that by holding it like this. So this can easily move into this. This will be protected. This will also be protected. So 1, 2, 3, boom. And again. 2, 2, 3, bang. And there it is here. Alright, so this is in, this is in. Now we just need the pink and beige. We see it all the way here. So we just roll it in. Hold it in this position. So this is free to move over to here. 1, 2, 3, and down. Okay, so now there that is over here. So let's take inventory. This is in. Alright, how about beige and green? Way over here, beige and dark green. So what I can do is I can do a couple of steps to move these into a better position here. I could simply move this over here, as both of these are bandaged, so down, 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 down. So now we're over here. Now that we're over there, what can I do to bring it closer to here? Now let's see how few steps we can do this. We can rotate this to here, and then rotate this down to here. So let's see how easy that is to do. I'm going to move this to here, then move this to here if I can. So holding this here, 1, 2, 3, bang. Alright, so we bumped it out of here and we put it right over here. So now to protect these guys, well, there's not much that I need to protect, but I just want to move it to here, so I'm just going to turn this over here. And one more to move this to where the purple is. And there it is here, okay? So now you can see how close we are. And all this has to do is wind to here, so this green can make nice with this over here. So, holding it in this position, we want to blast this, uncouple this out of here so that we can move it to here. Right now, this is protected, so 1, 2, 3, bang. So now it's over here. So I'm free to turn this like that and do exactly the same technique. This to come to here. So green to green. 2, 3, bang. And one more. 2, 3, bang. So you can see now it's over here. We can bring this back and all is well. None of these got blasted out. And if they did, like this, in our pursuit, well, we can easily put it back in. So even if you mess up, it's okay. Easily placed. And you should be able to contain it pretty well. Okay, so picking up where we left off, we're about to put this in over here. So we're going to go to a banded side, say over here. So I'm just going to move this over like that. By doing that, this is protected. And this is free to come over to here. Down. Good. Not good yet. Here. To roll down over here. Bang. So these are all good. Roll it in. Okay. We have one more to go. Green and white. Right over here. So what can we do to make this burden a little bit less? Well, let's start just by flipping it down here. Alright, no problems, that's here. And now we can just rotate this to here. Why not? Alright, hold it over here. This is free to move over here, and the rest will be protected. 1, 2, 3, bang. Do it again. And there it is over here. So now we just rotate this in over here. In this position, these two need to be protected. So I'll hold it here. Good, good. This should rotate all the way down here. And once more should do it. Okay, so now this is it. So now we have all of our second layer edges in. Okay, now the next step that I do with this layer by layer, as we're filling the shell, is it's now time to put our corners in, our outer corners. I'm not worrying about these as of yet. And the technique that I'm going to use, I've shown you this in other Megaminxes. I'm just going to review this again. And what this might do is it might undo some of this, but it's going to be very easily put back in. The key that you want to do is you want to find a red one and you want to put it, just hover it above where it's supposed to be. In this case, this is the beige and pink. So let's find the beige and pink centers and move it into position here. So right here, here's the pink, here's the beige. This has to come down to here. The way that we're going to do this is we have to find movements that are going to eventually associate this to coming down over here. And I'm going to move this by a UI over here. So now this is facing just behind where this was, facing just behind where it needs to be over here. And I'm going to start associating this corner with this edge. And the key that I want is I want to make it to where this edge ends up here, and this corner ends up with this red one facing down here, because eventually that's going to be winding down to there. This is a very intuitive technique. I could put an algorithm if you want, but just kind of follow what I'm doing here. I'm going to be doing a series of R moves and U moves by associating this with that. So the first thing I want to do is move this down so that I can start to do an association with this. So I'm going to do a R move, which will bring this up and move this edge down. And then I'm going to do a UI move so that the next RI move could put this in conjunction with this piece. So RI. Now this is not the proper configuration because this red one has to be facing here, right to my R. So when I see it's not in the proper configuration, I have to reset it. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to do another U move here, and then I'm going to do another R move for the purposes of rotating this. This will come down to here. So R. Now once I've done that, I'm going to roll this away from my edge by another UI move over here. Now I want to bring this edge back up with another RI. So once I've done that, I'm going to turn this back again to a U, and that resets this back where it's supposed to be here. And now I'm going to try to associate this with this edge, this corner with this edge. So once again, do another R move so that this is down here, and I'm going to put this over here so that I can roll this back, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do a 2 U I and then roll this back. Still not where we want it to be because this red has to be facing here. So I'm going to follow suit. Same thing. Do another U and another R to rotate this around, and then another UI to separate it from this edge. And I'm just going to do an RI to move the edge back, and then do another U to reset it. So now this is back here. This is where we want it to be. So I just have to associate it with this edge. So once again, RI, do a 2 UI, and then move this in. This is actually the configuration that we want. So now we can roll this back into here. So in this case, we do a 2 U. Now I'm going to move this up like so, and then with an R move, then I'm going to do a UI here, which puts this corner where it needs to be in association with this edge, and then bring it down. So let's look what we did. This is in, this did not get changed. Don't worry about anything up here because it just doesn't matter. It just gets fixed. So now this is in, and you can actually even prove it to yourself and say, look at that. And that's what we're going to do. And now we're going to be opportunists. For instance, here's another red one. This is actually in the configuration. Red, white, and blue. Very patriotic. So we're going to go ahead and do the red, white, and blue corner and put it in here. So I'm going to go a little faster this time, but it's the same technique. So just watch what I'm doing here. This rotates down here. I'm going to roll this edge up to greet it. And here it is. This is the proper configuration, even if these colors aren't matching, but that's okay. This edge is not associated with this corner. And I'll just go 2 over here, bring this up, bring this in, and then bring this down. So we're good. And now I've got this one in. We happen to have another red one here, so we're just going to follow suit. Set this up on this side. This is going to be green and white, which is right here, the green and white edge. And I'm going to do the same thing. Down, turn up here, not the right configuration. So this comes back, across here, boom. That resets it. Push it back down, 1, 2. Here, still not right. Put it back. Bring this in. It resets it. Bring it down. 1, 2. Bring it up. This is right, and this happens to be the right corner, so you can see the colors coincide. 1, 2. Bring this up, turn, and down. And we are still good. So now we just have a couple more. Any other reds? We'll just move this back so we don't get scared. Now, you can go any of these that you want. It just seems to be working out really well on this side. But where's another red? Here's another red over here. So what can we do to bring this where it needs to be? Well, it's probably going to be coinciding with some layer here that I can use. Well, here's another red. So why don't we do it from this standpoint here? Green and beige. Green and beige. So let's do exactly the same thing and see what happens with this side. This is a completely different side. But it's the same thing, but I'm going to be putting it in conjunction with this edge. Turn, turn, turn. Not where it needs to be. Turn, 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 turn. To reset it, this is reset. Turn it here. 1, 2. Bring it in. This is right. 1, 2. Up, here, and down. Look, didn't do anything. Almost like magic. We fear nothing with this. Here's the last of the reds. We're going to place it here the same way. With reckless abandon, turn, 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 and oh look, it happens to be the correct edge anyway. So 1, 2, bring up here and down. And we have ourselves, move this back here. Okay, don't worry about this yet. We have ourselves the first layer. Now, in doing that, you can see it appears that we messed this up. We can easily put this back in. We've got 2 that are here. So holding it like this will protect these guys. We want to move these around, so we don't want to move it next to a non-banded side. So we're going to move it with this. Move this over here because these are in conjunction. And I'm going to rotate it around until I see a yellow one next to this orange. Just like this. So boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, down. Not yet. 1, 2, 3. Down, there's our yellow, move it back, no worries, we're in, we're good. So we have our first and second layer here.